today, Indian Cinema Now section. It is having 104 minutes duration. It is a Hindi, Himachali, English language film. Welcome, Subhadra. Then Afrod PK is the screenplay writer, editor, and director of film Riptide. That is in Malayalam language, which is being shown in Kaleidoscope section. It is having 85 minutes. It was screened in other two important festivals, Exposed by Queer Film Festival Berlin and Gays International Film Festival. Am I right? Then Aryan Chandra Prakash, screenplay writer and director of the film Ajur. That film is shown in Indian Cinema Now section and having 124 minutes and in Bajiga language. Krishant is the screenplay writer and director of the film The Art of Warfare, Sangarshana Kadana. So Malayalam Cinema Today section having 105 minutes duration. Petro Ferre, screenplay writer and director of the film Malu from Brazil. It is in Portuguese language, having 101 minute duration. It is competing for Chagoram Awards. Give him big hand. Karina Zimmerman, the producer of the film Yasha and Lemon Brashno. The film is written and directed by Edgar Bagdasarian. The film from Armenia and Russia is being screened in World Cinema section. Duration is 100 minutes. Florencia de Mujica is the producer of the film An Oscillating Shadow, written and directed by Celeste Rogers Mujica. It is from Chile, Argentina and France, also in Spanish language, having 77 minutes. It is competing for Chagoram Awards. Nitin Murali is the editor, director, co-screenplay writer and sound designer of the Malayalam film Kiswagan, which is included in Malayalam Cinema Today section having 174 minutes. The other screenplay writer of the film is Girishma Ramendran. She has not reached there. Not here. Okay. So we have representatives of two competition films. In the years, screenplay writing was a specialized profession separated from director. There will be a screenplay and the producer will assign that screenplay to the director and he will direct the film. But for the last 4 years, we are reviewing the most of the directors present here. Most of them are screenplay writers and directors. It is a very specific and very visible change in the film making process. This just for your information, you can ask questions when the Q&A session is on. So the first round I will call upon one by one. They will introduce themselves about their film making experience, the hurdles they encountered during the film making and the film making experience in their country, the policy of their government, funding, if it is funded by themselves or by the crowdfunding or funding from friends. These all are very interesting topics we discussed in the other days also. All have opened their mind and they enlightened the audience about the process of film making And this type of explanation would helpful for the coming generation. Last day we have, not only last day, last years, last year and last but 1 year we have filmmakers here having made their films with a nominal budget of 3 lakhs. They use this mobile phone and the latest technology for making film. That is the tone of the day. The present day filmmaking culture is going like that. There is no fear of making films. Now anybody can come and make very good films. So we are opening the session with Subhadra Mahajan. She will explain about her film making experience and about this particular film. Please.
Okay, thank you. Hello everyone, I'm Subhadra. I'm here all the way from Himachal Pradesh, which is very, very far. Almost feels like a different country, but I'm very happy to be here in Kerala. The name of my film is Second Chance. It's my debut film. And it follows the story of a young woman who faces the first trauma of her life and heals by spending time in the beautiful nature of the Himalayan mountains and with some very unlikely friendships in the local community that she makes over there. So it's called Second Chance. And I just little bit to talk about my inspirations behind making this film. I think the most important theme in Second Chance for me was the theme of healing, and I felt like it's important in today's day and age to tell a story of healing because I feel like we live in a very thankless and instant kind of a world, and there's a bit of a tunnel vision, especially amongst younger people, younger millennials and Gen Z, because sometimes when faced with tragedy, it looks like something we can never come out of. There's some kind of lack of depth. So I felt in this generation, it's important to tell a story of healing. I wanted to tell a story about our relationship with nature because it's something that we really, really take for granted, and I think we should stop doing that. And I wanted to tell a story about unlikely friendships because I feel like we live in a very divided world nowadays, and we're so often told about all the things that divide us that we need to be reminded about the things that unite us. So I think maybe if some of you have watched the film or will watch the film, you might notice these themes. To speak about my journey in making this film, it's quite a micro-budget film. It's even though me and my producer tried very hard to get funding from within India and outside as well. We didn't really manage, so it's almost, you can say, self-funded between a few partners. So it is a micro-budget film. It was made with a tiny crew. We shot, our crew was about 12 people when we shot this film. It was, everybody had multiple jobs to do. So it was quite an exhausting shoot, but hopefully quite an enjoyable one as well. And the place where it's set, Himachal Pradesh, doesn't really have a filmmaking culture. And me and Aryan were just discussing this in the car over here that, certain states in India, like he's from Bihar and I'm from Himachal, we don't have filmmaking culture in our states at all, and we're trying very hard to develop one. So even though like most of the technicians came from Bombay, the junior crew, I made sure that I pick people from the local community and train them as much as possible to be a part of this film. Otherwise, the hurdles that we faced apart from being a very small crew with absolutely no resources was the climate, because it's shot in the winter in the high Himalayas. So it was shot at, our altitude is up to 10,000 feet, and our coldest morning was minus 20 degrees. It was quite a strenuous shoot. And the last hurdle, it was a hurdle, even though I think it's a decision in the film that has played off very well, is that I decided to shoot with a cast of complete non-actors. Everyone you see in my film is facing camera for the first time. While it has its payoffs, you can imagine what a challenging process this must have been. So, yeah, I think, is that enough, sir? Okay. I think I'd like to hand on to the next person.
There is a Q&A session after following this. Then you can converse with the delegates.
Okay, then let's call the next filmmaker.
Now I call upon Afred BK, is the screenplay writer, editor, director of the film Riptide.
Hello everyone. I'm Afred. I'm from Kerala itself, from Malappuram. To talk about Riptide, Riptide was actually my diploma film. I made it as part of my diploma when I was studying in Film Institute in Calicut. It was not actually a film institute, it was a media institute. So Riptide actually tells the story. It's a gay romance love story. It's set in a retro atmosphere. It tells the story of two characters going through the end of their college life, and suddenly something very traumatic thing happens, and it really affects the two characters in two different ways, and it's made in a chapter kind of like way, but in a non-linear format. Yeah, I think, I don't know if many of you have seen the film here. So that's what I have to tell about the story. To talk about the journey, as I said, it was my diploma film, so every single department, everyone who worked in this film were students and were my batchmates. So whether it be production design, costume design, or associates, everyone, even the person who acted in it, even I also acted in the film because we couldn't find any actors. For the main two lead characters, we had auditions, castings and all. Because I had written because it's my first time writing a script, and there was a scripting workshop in the institute that I was studying, but I didn't pay much attention to that, so I was first hand writing the script. So what I did when I wrote the script was I completely detailed and detailedly written everything. There was like even the shot that was supposed to come after, the editing itself was done on the screenplay, and the shot, without my cinematographer, I shot divided the entire thing. Then after I sat with my cinematographer, that's when I understood that most of the things that I shot divided myself were impractical. So I had the whole thing actually planned out beforehand, because that's the way that I can do things. I want everything on paper. So to talk about the journey, I think this whole thing has been it's a real experience, because when we were actually doing the film, it was just me going all out and doing everything that I can possibly can to have as much as fun as possible. Because for me, it was like I studied business, so I had always had a craze for cinema, but I never did anything with camera before doing this film. So it was me just like, I will go out and experiment as much as possible and have as much as fun as possible, because if this works out, hopefully I can do something more, or if it doesn't work out, I can always go for an MBA. So that was the plan, and so then the film started, and it was a crazy experience. It was very exhausting, just like you said. The whole process was very exhausting, very stressful. But every day when I go for the shoot, I hope I can complete all the schedules today, and I can end this as soon as possible. But soon, after the film was completed, I was missing the entire process, because I just felt lonely. That's when I understood this is the process is what I enjoy the most. And I really miss that process till now. And so what happened with film after was that we had a very fine first cut, and I was the producer myself. I was borrowing money from my friends, from my family, and I was also going for multiple jobs at the time, and I was saving a lot of money, and I was using that. But we had the equipments from the institute itself, so we didn't have that much problem with the equipments. So we completed the film, and we were kind of like in a very stuck position, and we didn't know what to do with it, because we also had to shoot a lot more, and we didn't have the money for that. So then we had the work in progress file and we sent it to various festivals across India. Since it is a Cure film, it was screened in Bangalore Cure Film Festival where we had great appreciation. And then in Mumbai TIS campus, we had a screening there for Students Festival. So after this is when I finally understood that this film is actually working because nobody has seen it before. So that's when I understood this film is actually connecting with people. Then we sent it to Rotterdam and then we got selection to Rotterdam and we had the world premiere at Rotterdam. So after we got selected to Rotterdam, I was really stuck in a position because I had to complete the whole post-production of the film and there was no money left. And that's when two wonderful producers, Mr. Jomon Jokeb and Mrs. Komlo Narne came onto the project and they helped to complete the project in the best way possible. So that has been the journey. And one thing that there are a few things that I understood from this whole journey is that first thing is one of the things that always limits the independent directors is the equipments and the quality, and that always limits them to take a film. Like you need to take it in the best equipments possible. You want to make the film look better. But we shot in Sony M3 is a very basic camera. That's the only camera we had in academy. One thing I understood that if you really plan, if you do the production design, if you plan the scenes properly, if you do the costume designing, everything, camera is not a factor. And we are living in a modern age where you can literally take a cinema on your phone. So there is nothing that is stopping anybody from making a film. Anybody can be a filmmaker now. So I don't think I'm a person to give advices or anything, but I can just say just go out, do it and have fun and just trust the process and enjoy the process. Secondly, just be as, if you have as much as fun as possible, the work will also be honest. And if it is more honest, it will reach more people. And I think then what else am I supposed to say? Yeah, okay, next round. I think I have said enough. I think I'll give it to the next person. So, yeah.
Is the Gays International Festival, that is in, where is that? Ireland. In addition to that, you have shown this film in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
Rotterdam Proper Festival.
Rotterdam is where we had the world premiere. World premiere was in Rotterdam.
Is Rada Sesik is there? Rada Sesik. There is a person called Rada Sesik. Yeah. She was associated with this festival, IFFK, for a long time. She is from Rotterdam. This year and last year she didn't turn up. Okay, fine. Now, Krishant. Krishant is a regular in this forum. Almost all films shown in the IFFK, they have invited him to meet the director session. He spoke well, explained about his film. Please.
Hello everyone, hi. So I made a film called The Art of Warfare, which is based on the book The Art of War by military general of China. So why did I make this film? So I was at a point where one of my film had worked properly and the second film was also working properly, and everyone thought that we'll be making money. But suddenly we were not, because the film got cancelled and all the actors and everyone did not know what to do. And I thought that I'll take this as a break to philosophically engage with my thoughts and plan for the next, the series that I was making. But this was a time when one of my friend, he was also my associate director, he was also producer to Majid Majidi. His name is Vineet Masram. So Vineet runs a YouTube, he used to run a YouTube channel called Cinema Beyond Entertainment. So this guy passed away, and I still can't believe that he passed away. I mean, he's still alive in my head. So I got this news while I was on a beach with my daughter and my wife, and suddenly it struck me that we'll all die. Like, we have several films in our system, and we're waiting for this magical producer to find us from among a group and then, you know, grant us money and say, go ahead and make your own film. That will not happen. And this is a point where I thought that if I die, then I have made 3 films and I think I have more film inside me. So that's the point. I decided that I'll make the film that I will never make, which is not a scary film, but it's a film that I always thought that if I make this, I'll be considered stupid, or it might not work, or people will look at it and say I'm pretending too much, or he has gone beyond his means to. But these thoughts were in my head always. But at this point, we decided we'll make the film, and we made the film. My wonderful team. This is one of the films where I had the least stress, and also one of the films where I storyboarded the least. Like I had only storyboarded the first sequence of the film. So those are different for me. I'm usually storyboarding the entire thing and have previous for a lot of scenes. But this is a film where I was more basing it on my instincts. I had short division list, but basing it on my instincts, and my team was wonderful. And suddenly this is based on a Chinese text. So we dedicated it to Hong Kong cinema. So there is Wong Kar-wai style. Then there are scenes which look like from his film. But then it is a Malayalam film. The music is Chinese and Japanese together. But then it's also a Malayalam film. So there are elements of proper Malayalam cinema. So if you are able to digest it, then it's good. And then also added a few elements of entertainment, because I stopped watching good cinema since 2 years, because I really think that good cinema is not able to get my attention, because I also have a family, baby, and watching a thing on movie has become kind of impossible because of the attention span that I don't have. And I'm only during festivals, or only when somebody sends me a screener, that's only when I watch good cinema. So, but I watch cinema a lot. Okay. And what is good and what is bad is again open for an argument. So that's when I made this film, and I'm very proud that I could at least be here, show this film, get positive responses, get negative responses, be in this ambience, breathing. Yeah, thank you.
And I would like to call upon Ariel Chandra Prakash is the screenplay writer and director of the film Ajur.
Thank you IFFK for giving this opportunity to share our story with you. I feel that I just imagine that if my villagers, my kids who acted in the film, if they are here, they must feel very inspired that a film can have a festival such huge also. Because since childhood, I had seen many festivals, around my village, around in my state. Of course, that is not a film festival, but different festivals. So they never can imagine that a film have such huge festival also. So I just hoping that one day they can come. And just before this, when we were in the KIF, for the very first time they come out from the village to participate in the KIF. And they saw such big city in their life for the first time. So it was very great to see their face, their emotion and all. I feel that Ajur's selection in IFFK is not just important for us, or not for just my community, but for all the young people who wanted to make cinema in very less resource. Allow me to share with you a bit story. Why I'm telling this? Like my mother used to do a festival called Tej. So in North India, a lot of festival women's do. One of them is Tej. So in that festival, my mom used to wake up for the whole night before the God. And so we used to wake up also. So what my father used to do, he used to rent a DVD and TV from the market. So he can play the DVD and TV, so my mom can wake up whole night watching film. That's how I started to watch the films. But I would say surely that I never watched in my that age something classic films. I always watch very like Rajesh Khanna kind of films, and films of course derived from Mumbai. And there is no such environment in my village, in my state also, that where I can say that, oh, I have opportunity to learn about something classic films, learn about something, a film that is more near to life. You know, that I only realized when I moved from my state and goes to Delhi, and I started to participate in different film festival. One very important thing makes me connecting with film festival, that I started to watch regional films of India. That gives me this perspective that, oh, I have a lot of story also in my community. So I can go back to my community and work with them. Because I saw films are, in the film festival in Delhi, films are from Kerala, of course from Assam, of course from Mumbai, in Marathi and all. But there were no films from Bihar. So that was very, haunting for me that, oh, it is not a film from Bihar. And in our community, I feel that even in Kerala, in every community, a lot of stories happening all the time. You just need to put the camera. So when I go back to my village, before that I traveling across the India, and I realized that people from Bihar is everywhere. You will see in the northeast, you will see in the Kashmir, you will see everywhere people from the Bihar. And one more thing I observed, that they are mostly unskilled people. So they are doing the labor's work and all. So with making, with telling their story, another thing very fascinating for me, to train them for filmmaking, to train them for a different skill. So they can be more skillful, Once you are not skillful, your earning is different. Once you get skillful, your earning is very different. So my target when I go back to my village was not to make a film, but to empower my community also, so they can realize that, oh, film can be like this also. First, when we started to make film, many people used to come and give me suggestion. Did you put any song? Did the film have any dance sequences? And they were also telling that how one can make a film in the rural part. Film always being made in the very big cities, in Mumbai, in big cities. For them, it is the perception. In the Ajur case, we made completely the film in the rural area. The whole thing being shot in the rural area, and on the location, until the post involved in the film, 100% people is from the rural part. They being trained, they being involved in the whole process for the first time. And they really experience the cinema. During the process of making, they really feel that, oh, cinema can be this also, out of that, songs, vulgar songs, dance and all. In the starting, of course, they were knocking me. Let's put a song, because this is completely, we were making a film that was very involved with the community. So I was staying inside the community, taking their effort to make everything possible. So they have a space, larger space to give me suggestions also. So they very often used to come and give me these suggestions. So that's why I feel that selection in IFFK, like I'm under 30, and I made the film that is in IFFK, earlier it was in KIF. I feel that this selections will boost the confidence of a lot of young people who wanted to make the films. And they think that for making films really need a lot of, money and all. Of course, there is some planning for that. But if you have a dream, if you have a story to tell, then I think all the things is thought out with the slowly. It is sought out with the, whatever energy around you. So in our case, it's happened the same way. Like we shot the whole film in 2 years. And if you see the kids, they are growing very fast. Their voice is changing very fast, because the kids grow very fast. So we were a bit worried also that the voice should not change. The kids' lookout should not change. So we were in rush. But of course, there were a lot of struggle. I'm telling you one incident. We have shot the whole scene of our film, but all the rain scene was not being shot. Because for rain scene, we were not having anything. We were working on a very natural locations, even we shot the film in the people's house. So my mother acted in the film, my grandfather acted in the film, and so we shot in a very rural part. And yeah, so we were about to shot the raining shot, but there were no much rain. So we were a bit worried what to happen. And the cinematographer who has given me time is about to go already. So on the day he was about to go, I got call from my mom, and she said that it seems like there will be rain today. So you can come out and check. It was 4 or 5 in the morning. I come out, the cloudy it was, and I I woke up cinematographer and I asked him, would you like to cancel your tickets and stay today? He said completely not. So while going there, I feel that, yeah, let me end this.
You will get another round.
Sorry?
You will get another round. Then you can answer the questions
Yeah.
and in detail. We
Yeah,
have-
so at the end he stayed and we got very good rain, and that's how we shot all the rains in the whole day. So thank you for listening, and thank you for being so nice.
I would like to call Mr. Pedro Freire. He is the screenplay writer and director of the film Malu. He is from Brazil, and it is in Portuguese language, having 101 minute duration. His film is competing for Chagoram Awards. Please.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon, good morning. Yes, so my film is a family drama. It's about Malu, who's my mother. It's a very personal film. It's the story of my mother. It's a fiction film about the story of my mother, my grandmother, my sister, and myself. In the film, I depict the character of Joanna is a mix between my sister and me, so I can kind of mix things that happen to her and things that happen to me in one character only. And then that way we can have this situation where there are 3 women of 3 different generations, and there are different perspectives on life, and there are different traumas. It's a drama, so it's a film about traumas, female traumas, intergenerational traumas, and the way that sometimes one trauma is passed to the next generation and to the next and to the next. And yeah, so this is a film based, of course, in actual facts and real situations. And it was film made mostly out of memories. So I had to channel all these memories that I had from my mother, from my grandmother, from my childhood, my teenage, and try to put them on paper. The method of working on that, on the writing, was that first of all, I just kind of vomited everything that I had on the paper. You know, it was a very turbulent time of trying to remember everything and put memory on the paper, all the memories that I had, and the good and the bad ones. It was very hard because the good memories made me miss so much my mother, because she was deceased in 2013. And so I was suffering a lot with the memories because of missing her. And the bad memories were even worse because of the traumas, because my mother was bipolar, so she had a lot of mental illnesses, and it was very difficult sometimes to be her son. So the traumas were also very difficult. So I cried a lot writing this film, but at some point I realized that I didn't want to do a film about myself, for myself healing. I wanted to do a film for you, the audience, to get you to know the story of this woman, this amazing woman, this controversial, mercurial woman that was Malu. So I decided to kind of separate these memories. There are memories which are good to the film, to make a film, to make cinema, and there are memories that are good for me, for my self-healing, for my psychoanalysis, and to try to get better, improve as a person. But the real interesting memories for the film are the ones that I really want to keep. And then I did that. And I began to trace this narrative around these memories that I thought were interesting for the audience. Yeah, so I'm very happy with the process of writing it. And then we began to look for the cast. I didn't have a casting director. I worked as a casting director before in my former careers. So I just made the casting by myself, and I'm very happy with the cast we have. I decided to work only with theater actors in Brazil, very experienced theater actors with very little experience in cinema. Why is that? Because I really like to work with rehearsals, with lots and lots and lots of rehearsals. I'm a strong believer in rehearsals. I love to rehearse. I love to get to the film set knowing a lot, having researched a lot, deeply researched what it is that we are talking about, deeply. And for this film we had 3 weeks of rehearsals. And for 3 weeks of rehearsals, I knew I had to have theater actors, because theater actors are usually the people who like to rehearse, who like to delve into the characters and the relationships and to go deep into it, So, yeah, so I had these theater actors, and we worked on the basis, very Stanislavski, the Russian director and teacher of acting, Konstantin Stanislavski, were the basis of the work. So we worked a lot with improvisations. We basically improvised the whole script, never memorizing the lines, never. Just rehearsing improvisations. Then when we ended 3 weeks of rehearsals, only improvising the scenes, and we improvised each and every scene of the script chronologically, 1, 2, 3, 4, until the 95. Then we had the whole script improvised. So the actors and actresses, they knew the film from inside, from the feelings that they expressed in these improvisations. Then now is the time to memorize the lines. So they could memorize the lines before the shooting. We never rehearsed the memorized lines. The memorized lines were saved for the shooting. So the first time they are saying that lines memorized is with the camera rolling. So the idea is that way you can have both worlds. You can have at the same time a deep understanding of the material, a deep research of the material, of the characters, of the relationships, of the objectives, but at the same time reserving the freshness of saying that words for the first time with the camera rolling. Because if you rehearse with the lines too much, the lines become monochordal, like automatic, like robots, so I didn't want that. So that's kind of the system that we used for this. I'm talking all that about the actors and the acting and the directing of the actors, because this is crucial in my film. My film is heavily based on directing actors. I am a strong student of, I've studied directing actors for all my life. I give classes on directing actors today in the Cuban Film School in Cuba, in San Antonio de los Baños, where I am a professor now, and I was a student back in 2002. And I love directing actors more than everything in the world. I do cinema because it's kind of an excuse to direct actors. So, yeah, just to end, I'd like to say that the film is about this very unstable woman who can be very unstable and she's always very bright, either in the good side or the bad side. At some point she can be screaming at you and saying awful things, and it's very dark and deeply dark, the film at some times. But then 3 minutes later she can be telling a joke and very brightly making the sunshine and everyone smile. So it's a very, highs and low film, and I hope you can watch it, and I hope it can touch your hearts. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So, Karina Simonon, she is the producer of the film, Yasha and Leno Brezhnev. The film is written and directed by Edgar Bagdasarian. It is being screened in World Cinema, and to help Karina, Arjun is with us. If needed, he will translate to English.
Thank you so much. I'm Karina, I'm producer from Armenia. I want to say thank you, first of all organizers for this wonderful film festival. Thank you so much for this opportunity that we can participate in this amazing place in Kerala. I'm so happy, really. The director of the film, Armenian well-known film director Edgar Bagdasarian, and he is also a screenwriter. This film of Edgar's second film that submitted to the Oscar this year. And just a little bit of film I want to talk. So this is a tragicomic story of old man Yasha. This film is a typical example of escapism and distortion of consciousness. This is a story of a man who lost everything that he lived in his life and fought of his life. In this film, there are many political and historical figures like leader of Communist Party, Leonid Brezhnev, president of Yugoslavia, Broz Tito, Che Guevara, Ceausescu's couple. But this film is not historical movie, actually. Action take place in Armenia, and what I want to say. This film is a co-production of Russian and Armenia. Armenia is main production country, but the intention of our film is totally changed after the war between Russia and Ukraine. Generally, many European film festivals didn't accept our film because of Russians' side participation. Even in the Russian, our film has banned now because of the main actor, Maxim Vitorgan, who was support Ukraine, and so that's why now he's in the blacklist of his country. So, and from Minister of Culture of Russian Federation, our film has banned. So, okay, something in my language I say, and my friend translated. Ֆիլմը կոնֆլիկտ է երկու սերունդների մասին, ինչպես նաև ինչպես է քաղաքականությունը ազդում մարդկանց ճակատագրերի վրա, այսինքն երբ որ քանդվում է մեծ Soviet Union, մեծ կայսրություն եւ ինչպես են սովորական մարդկանց ճակատագրերը մնում դրա փլատակների տակ։
The movie has to do in part with an expression of how the Soviet Union collapsed and how this affected the ways in which people, everyday people's lives were affected, both from the way, in the more structured way that they were living prior within the Soviet Union, and then afterwards as the main protagonist is in the Republic of Armenia. Leonid Brezhnev is actually an alter ego of the main character Yasha, And he comes up essentially in like a fantastic kind of a way and provides, you know, the that old kind of advice about you must live in a certain way, in a certain regimented Soviet way, while at the same time Yasha is living in a more modern Armenia. And so that's the kind of central conflict which is there. Okay, that's about it. That's about it.
Florencia. She is the producer of the film Oscillating Shadow, written and directed by Celeste Rogers Mujica. Mujica or Mugica, what is?
Thank you. It's Mujica. Thank you so much for being here. For me, it's amazing. I'm from Argentina. It's my first time in India, and you're being so kind, and so it's so wonderful to be here. It's a pleasure. The film is An Oscillating Shadow. It's in an international competition, and it's a documentary, and it's about the relationship between a father and her daughter, and the daughter is the director of the film. And it's a dialogue that is across all the film, between a father who was exiled from the dictatorship in Chile. In Chile was a dictatorship from 1973 to 1990. So he had to exile and he back to Chile in 1993. So it's the film. It's 16 millimeters. Was shooting in 16 millimeters. It's a kind of experimental film, and it's a game between all the time the memories and the photographies. Because the father of the director was a photograph, and he used that kind of job to escape from Chile to Ecuador, and also uses to help another partners of militancy. He was a militant of revolutionary movement in Chile. So he used to use the photography also to help to escape another fellowships. So the film, it's all the time oscillating, as the title mentioned, with the memories, also the trauma that he lived, and with the photography, because we are showing in the film the photographs from the archive of the father, and it's like a game all the time with in a lab, photo lab. So I was from the beginning with this project, and like we were working since 2018 until last year, or this year that was released the film. And it's an Argentinian-Chilean co-production because the director is Argentinian-Chilean. She was living in Argentina when we met. And we shot with a small group because the funds for the documentary are so difficult sometimes. So we get it like a few funds from Argentina, and we did it with a small group with 4 people, for the DOP, the director, sound designer, and I. And we were like in a careful shooting because the main character is the father of the Celeste, and he tried to remember and he tried to recover all the feelings and memory, and it was so difficult. But and also then we had like a co-production with France because we won the Hubert Bals Fund from Rotterdam, and they asked you for it was mandatory to have a co-production with France. And well, if you have the opportunity to watch the film, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Florencia. Their film is also competing for Chagouram Awards. And Mr. Mithun Murali, he is also a multitasker. Editor, director, co-screenplay writer, and sound designer. So film is Kiswagan in Malayalam language, included in Malayalam Cinema Today section. Please.
Hi all, I'm Mithun Murali, director of the film Kiswagan. This is my third feature film. The first one was Grahanam in 2016, and the second one was Humania, which happened in 2017. And I've never even thought about sending one of my previous films to a film festival, because I believe that both of those previous projects were my film school projects. I've never been to any film school, but this was a dream from the childhood days. So I tried to make films with my previous two films, and the actual thing was about to happen in 2018, because I wanted to make a real film which I can fearlessly submit before a crowd, and I can watch it among them. So I wrote a screenplay, and the first time I had a partner in writing the screenplay, and we completed it. It was a musical. We even created 8 songs for that. Myself and my partner, Grishma, we composed, we wrote and sang 8 songs for that project. And once the shoot was about to begin, the COVID lockdowns happened, and we couldn't do that. So we were like totally trapped inside, and we wanted to do something. So at that time we thought about making a music video first. And for that, what we did was, we took several abstract photographs, like the world, some broken worlds, a sky, a tree, or an ant, or a lizard, and we tried to merge all of those elements together into a single shot. It's like a composite. We composed each and every shot of that music video using 30 to 40 real images or videographs. So we really loved the output, and we had another story in our mind which we couldn't achieve with whatever budget we are able to get, being an independent filmmaker. So we talked to each other, why can't we make that film in this way? If you are giving it this way, this approach, we can make it within our budget. Like we can even show an airplane crash or a high-speed chase, which an independent filmmaker can never even be brave enough to write on paper. We could achieve those kind of things with this. So we planned about making an epic, and it took almost 3 years for us. But we were the only crew until the film was completed. And in the final stage, my friend Jikki Paul came in to give voice to the characters we made. And so I can proudly say that this is a film made by a 3-man army, means myself, my partner, and Jikki Paul. And we achieved it some way. It has got 14 songs in it, 25 scores, and 2,500 shots made this way, which I explained before. And our intention was that when we were in a debate with each other, she was like, what is the most popular thing in cinema which people are looking forward to? Then we zeroed into this idea that everyone, almost 90% of the entire world is looking forward to actors or their performances on screen, and not the actual film. When the art form of cinema was invented, this was not the case. We know one of the most earlier pieces of cinema was the image of a speeding train which approaches the camera. And the impact it made when it was shown to a bigger crowd was something else. So I wanted to make that kind of films. But afterwards, especially with the invention of sound, the cinema got deviated more towards the basic aspects, that's literature and theater performance. But I believe there is something else that makes this art form so unique: composition, editing, and sound design. So I wanted to do something else. I wanted to make a film which the audience will not get anything from the actors. Even the animated characters in our film doesn't have anything to emote. They don't have eyes or lips. So the only device we have or a tool we have is filmmaking. If we want to show that a character is sad, then we have to make the entire shot look sad and do the sound design accordingly. And if we wanted to see that someone is excited in the film, we have to make the entire thing, the edit pattern exciting, the sound design exciting. So that's how we approached this film. I don't know whether it is successful or not, but this was the intention behind it. So it's a 3-hour long film. It's obviously not everyone's cup of tea. Anyone is interested in watching an experiment, please do. My last screening is on 20th, 9:15. Thank you.
Thank you, Mithun. Yes, yes, sure. It is coming to your side also. Anybody from your cast or crew sitting in among the delegates? Anybody? Anybody? Anybody from your film? Yes, Prashant. You can introduce, that's why. Call him. Call his name. Who is? Call his name. Who is that? Please stand up. Ah.
Nikhil, Rahul, Kanapa. The one is my chief associate director, Rahul is my actor, Kanappan is also my actor. Where are the others? They're all in good shape. Thank you guys.
Any other, yes, call.
Avinash is here. He came from Bihar also. He was
Great,
assistant
great,
director
great
in
hand.
our film.
Good hand. Okay, thank you. Any other? You are, no?
No, I just wanted to say something I forgot to say, which I feel is important.
I will give you time. Then the house is open for Q&A. You can ask questions to a particular director or to the entire panel. Give mic.
This is addressed to Balu's director. You are Argentinian?
Which film?
Malu.
Malu, yes.
From your description, what I gather is that it is a mom-centric biopic of memories. It mixes fictional memories, also real memories of your grandma and your mom. So it is sort of a fictional kind of biopic. Is it so? It's a biopic, biographical picture. Balu?
Hello, yes. Yes, it's a biographical picture, yes, of my mother.
Okay, what are the main obstacles, barriers which prevents from such an intimate relationship with your
Sorry,
mother?
can you speak a little bit louder?
What were the major barriers in front of you? Because it is because of the theme is your life. So there could be some kind of directorial barrier before it because it is reality of your life.
I understood that if it is reality of my life,
My life.
yes, it's reality of my life, yes.
Is it a barrier for your picturization or it helped like in a biopic?
It was very hard to do because a lot of traumas from my childhood and my teenage. So yes, I had to access these traumas and try to put them into the screen. And I cried a lot writing them and then filming them. And at some point I realized that the way they touched me to do this film, I cried so much filming it that this was very good to direct the actors because the actresses was watching me crying and then they were very moved.
Okay. Then questions to Mithun Murali. Mithun Murali. From your talk, what I understand is that you are having a lot of ideas. You are a man which reminds Steve Jobs' tagline, think different.
Question is to whom?
To Midun Murali. I am reminded of the tagline of Steve Jobs, think different, the Apple's tagline. You are such a person having different ideas, innovative ideas. Could you please elaborate on your directorial system, please?
Hello. When it comes to making films, I don't like calling myself a director because I never like to direct any people. I would like to do everything on my own, like from handling the camera or lighting up a shot or editing or creating the music for it. Whatever it is, let it be good or bad, I would like to handle everything myself. I do have a lot of very friends who are too deep into cinema or filmmaking. From them, I take a lot of advice for making films. But that stage happens before I enter the process of making my own film. Once I started writing for a project, from there onwards, I won't listen to anyone. Like, that's my process. I believe in authorship when it comes to cinema. Like, if you take a painting, we all know that most of the painters uses models for creating a painting. But think about a world where once the painting is out there for you to see in a gallery, and people are coming and saying that in awe, they're saying that the model is very nice. All the appreciation for the piece of art is going towards the model used by the artist. But that's what happening to cinema these days. Because the only persons who are talked about once the movie is released is the ones acting in it. There are people who believe in craft, but most of the things are going like that. Even when I'm sending a film to a film festival abroad, the first thing they want to know is the background of the filmmaker, like from what political background he is coming, where is he living, what is his lifestyle. Before getting on the decision to select a film, this is the first thing they are looking forward to. So I never wanted to make that kind of film also. So I relied on the very early techniques used by the filmmakers, right from 1920s onwards. I believe in those basic tools, editing and sound design. So I try to make films this way. Even if Kiss Wagon has got a very linear story in it, the final output is very fragmented and abstract, because I think the straightforward story doesn't have cinema in it. So this is our approach.
Thank you, Mithun. In between, there is a statement by Subhadra. She wanted to talk to you. By that time, you can formulate questions, further questions. Of course, Suresh can also ask question after this.
Can I have the other mic maybe? Okay. Okay, this is good. Thank you. Sorry, because I was the first to speak, I kept it very, very brief. I just wanted to give everybody else an opportunity to speak. But I feel it's very important. I'm not just the writer and director of my film, I'm also the executive producer. And I don't know how many of you were present for the opening ceremony, but Miss Anne Hui, who received the Lifetime Achievement Award, said something very, very important, which is that a film is not a film without an audience. And an audience is needed to complete the journey of a film. So I just want to talk about the hurdles that were faced, that I have faced in bringing my film in front of an audience. The first thing is to get it to premiere at a international festival is an all different ball game. So to have your film made and get the craft and get the actors together, get the resources together, and the post is one thing. And then to get that film to an audience is a completely different ball game, which there's as much of a factor of luck as anything else involved in that. And my film, Second Chance, almost made it to the biggest festivals across the world and made it to the finals, and then didn't come back, didn't make it to the final round, which was, of course, for any artist and for any filmmaker, it's a very, very difficult process to have to deal with that. And post that, of course, we had our world premiere at the Carlo Vivari International Film Festival in July, which was a breakout, post which we've been in Busan and AFI Fest and Sao Paulo in South America and Adelaide in Australia. And finally, of course, Kerala over here and a few others. But when it comes specifically to India, I feel we are currently in a very in a situation where the market is not supporting independent filmmakers at all, because theatrical releases for independent films are very, very, I mean, it's literally, I've been told on my face that no matter what, and no matter what the festivals are, getting a theatrical release for your film, just forget about it. You're not even ever going to, you know, dream about it. And as far as the OTTs are concerned, I cannot even mention the kind of sums they offer to give you for your life, 5 years of hard work, and for whatever accolades and whatever amazing reviews you might have got in Variety and Hollywood Reporter on the best film festivals in the world. But the market, I mean, the OTTs don't really care about that, and they give you a real pittance to put your film on their platform. And I just want to talk about this here in Kerala, because I feel like Kerala is the only state which has a bit of an exception, because in Kerala you commercially support well-made films and festival films, which I think is fantastic. Therefore, I was very excited to have my film playing in this festival here and for all of you to see it. And I feel the rest of India, on a regional scale as well as on a national scale, really needs to take a cue from the way Kerala perceives and treats cinema and its filmmakers. So yeah, just wanted to say that. Thank you.
For the attention of Subhadra, I would like to add that in Kerala also the young filmmakers are fighting to get release, and there is an organization, Independent Filmmakers Organization in Kerala. They are making their own festivals and selling tickets and inviting audience. And some shows are running full. The part of the representative of that organization is, I have seen him yesterday sitting in this forum. You got contact between the filmmakers, can contact each other in almost all states and make that forum wide and fight for that. The commercial theaters, they are just looking for profits. That's all. Suresh. He's a media, he's a social media person.
I'm from Instagram and my name is Suresh Kumar. I've been in the film industry last 25-30 years, just watching, observing and knowing the directors and the producers. My question to you is, ma'am, other than South America, and you're from Argentina, right? Where else do you have a big market for your films to be viewed? One, ma'am, you told you had a distribution problem. And in Europe you had an issue. So which are the other alternative markets you would look for? Sir, from Calicut, a student and a filmmaker, if you didn't go to, if you actually didn't go to the film institute and then make a movie, what difference would it have been?
No, only first, after completing that, otherwise they won't get.
Yeah,
outside South America.
Sorry?
Outside America, South America.
Outside.
Outside,
yes.
where you are getting the markets for your film.
For my film.
Whether you can release your film outside
Yes.
that territory.
We release.
Possible.
We release our film in Film Marseille in France, and we have like a lot of festivals in Spain, Cinebi, La Alternativa in Barcelona, also Biennale. We have like, I don't know, I think it's most European. Well, it's we were in China like 1 week ago. We won like the best documentary there, and now we are here. I think it's our first time in the Asian market, and it's so amazing because for me, I see all the cinemas crowd. It's amazing that you are full cinemas here.
it's awesome.
Suresh, question is very relevant. You can also answer for that question. You too can. Outside your country, whether you can exploit the commercial possibilities outside the other continents and other countries.
With regards to where Armenian films are presented outside of the country, the current geopolitical situation is such that they aren't as shown in Europe and Eastern Europe as much as they used to be. But assuming that things with the Ukrainian war are taken care of. So films that are created in the Republic of Armenia are often showcased in places like America, which have large populations.
South Africa, Melbourne in Oceania, Hong Kong, I don't know, some Regat Satellite in France, many festivals, Mexico, South America. So yeah, it's been around. And Cairo Film Festival in Egypt, just last month it won 2 awards. And yeah, I'm very happy with the career of the film internationally in terms of festivals, but in terms of distribution, it's been a mess. I mean, we didn't sell it anywhere at all. And no one wants to buy the film, they just want to show the films in the film in festivals. I'm not sure why that happens, but that's it.
Thank you very much. Question 2?
Sir, the question to you is, if you go to a film institute and make the film, and because you've been in an institute, what difference did it make? And why would you tell new filmmakers to go to an institute before you get into making a film?
No, I didn't say that you should go into a film institute.
I'm just asking you if you get a feeling that you would like to tell the next generation of movie makers.
No.
Is it always advisable to be in an institute or even try it yourself?
Yeah. I don't think if I didn't go to the film institute, I wouldn't have made Riptide. And I don't think it's because of the film institute. The reason is that before making Riptide, before going to the film institute, I was a person who was completely oblivious to filmmaking or anything that happens with film. I was a person who was just watching cinema constantly. So for me, when you're always watching cinema on screen and you're always watching films by great masters, cinema was something like a spectacle for me. It is something that is unachievable. So the reason I went to film school is that so that I can at least understand, because I have this passion inside me that I want to do this, but I don't know any aspects of it. So I just need to get at least a basic info on what is really happening. And that's the reason I went to film school, and I also needed equipments to make the film. So I think I think one of the reasons you should go to film school is that so that you can get equipment so that you can shoot films.
One thing to add more, you need less time and less resources when you are in an institute and trained how to do. Ma'am, my question to you is, you've been to for a few of the international festivals. How would you rank the first 2 best film festivals, and what was the experience, and why do you say it was the best?
So you might get me into a bit of trouble here to ask me to choose between all the festivals, but I'll be brave. Internationally, my world premiere was at Karlovy Vary International Film Festival, which was the best experience till date, maybe because it was my world premiere. We had 4 shows of the film. It takes place in Czech Republic, for those of you who don't know, which is an ex-Soviet country, and very few people there speak English. And being a small film from a place like Himachal Pradesh, I was very concerned about how the perception of the film is going to be, if people are going to relate to it at all. Every show, including a show which was at 9 a.m. in the morning, was sold out at Kalu Vivari, and for our world premiere we got a standing ovation. So I think that I would rate Kalu Vivari as a very, very important festival of Europe. It's one of the oldest and one of the biggest for sure. And I think I had a great experience at AFI Fest in Los Angeles as well, because it takes place in the heart of Hollywood. So it's one festival that tries to bridge the gap between the studio and the independent as far as independent cinema in India is concerned, in America is concerned. And it's very rare for, I mean, they don't have a lot of selection of world cinema. So for a small film like us to get in there was already a big deal. And in India, of course, my best experience has been Kerala. Even though we're just one screening down, I was amazed to see the film in a 700 seating, 700 seats almost full, and the kind of response that we got from the audience just during the Q&A, as well as the amount of messages I'm getting on Instagram and everything after that has been quite amazing. We have another screening of my film today at 6 p.m. at Kairali. I'm really looking forward to that, and there's one more on the 19th at 3:15 p.m. So yeah, I can't wait. This has really been a fantastic experience of a festival.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Question, please give the mic. No, 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 everybody, mic, please give the mic. Are you late?
I really struggle with the mic, so I would actually prefer talking without the mic, because I'm an autistic psychiatrist, and I need to, my question is actually directed pretty much to Mithun. So Mithun was actually talking about intersectionality, because, you know, when you send the kind of, you know, where is cinema, where is art in the mix of kind of, you know, you talk about geopolitics, you talk about women stuff and feminism and all that activism. So where is the abstract kind of art form of cinema actually stands? And for people like me, I'm a psychiatrist, I work in the UK, I'm a consultant psychiatrist there. And I am autistic, and I really struggle with a lot of these mainstream cinema issues. So, for example, I couldn't stand in a queue to watch a movie. I struggle with the reservation, and I struggle with almost all the stuff. But I love film. I like the idea of a movie, and I'm a very visual person, and I can kind of relate pretty much to what he, you know, he was saying as a sole director, producer, kind of actor, everything. So are we just diluting the art for the sake of intersectionality? Because, you know, race comes, geopolitics comes, politics comes, and there are a lot of issues, but where does the actual film sit in the middle of all these things? Thank you. Yes.
Actually, I'm not actually against the idea of using art as a tool for saying politics or bringing some reformation to the society we are living in. I'm not against it. But these days, these are the only things which are overlooked upon in filmmaking. Means people don't care about filmmaking anymore. They are talking about the political aspects of the film once the screening is over. I've seen this tendency in many film society screenings and all. The most means I got shocked when I got to know in one of the film society screenings that even the audience there are not aware about the most basic aspect of cinema, which is the aspect ratio in which the film is made. Whenever a film in a different aspect ratio is being played before a film festival audience too, even they will ask me, can't you show the film in full screen? Because I believe that setting an aspect ratio before making the film is like setting a canvas for a painting. So that's very important. The film is intended to be shown in that particular way the filmmaker is being made. I am interested in those sort of things when it's come to filmmaking rather than using it for other aspects. I stand for the most basic thing, which is cinema. We can do a lot of things with it, but I am with it. Whenever I think about an idea, I think about the edit pattern and sound along with it. The story won't come first and then the style. I'm a style over substance person. So that's my idea. Thank you.
Question? Huh?
Yes. So my questions are to Krishan sir. So you're someone who's taken an academic interest to the visual cinema. You've taken an academic interest to the art form as well, and so there was conversation about the Malayali moviegoers and their sensibilities, how cinema works in Kerala, the differences between how Kerala cinema works in the rest of the country and in Kerala. So there were conversations, and you are someone who's benefited from the difference of the Malayali moviegoer. So your films have worked commercially as well, as in Purusha Predam and Avasi. They've worked commercially as well, and Purusha Predam especially gathered a lot of attention from many people who were introduced to you through that movie. So my question is, as someone who has taken an academic interest to cinema, where do you draw the line? So you were hinting at it when you spoke earlier. So I just want you to elaborate. Where do you draw the line between a movie for a larger audience that has to get commercial success and a movie that, again, like you're doing it for yourself? And where do you draw the line between? So where do you compromise? Do you compromise on the academic values of the movie that you're trying to make, I hope you have understood the question. And also one question to Afrad. Yes, thank you. Can I just one question to Afrad? Your first movie has made it to IFFK. The first time you've done these things, you've made it here. So as a aspiring filmmaker myself, I just wanted to ask you, where do you go from here? The filmmaker in you, what next? What is up next for you? Just wanted to hear your insights about it.
My films, so my first film was here in international competition at IFFK. There were a lot of people who did not watch the film in the competition, and even after that, and when it came on MX Player, so you know how impossible it is to get into MX Player, which is like YouTube, but you know, YouTube with a little bit of fun. So yeah, even between all the Indian Desi web series, my independent film got lost. We made 600 plus rupees in that film, but MX Player says that I can't take it out because I need to make at least 2,000. Yeah. So, and then we gave it to another platform called Kude, and I don't know if they made money. And then I put it on YouTube. I could not make money on YouTube. So I got into this idea that if you make something really personal, and if you make an artwork, you might not be able to communicate to everyone. There are certain people who will love your film, certain people who will hate your film. And the medium is such that this is a very democratic medium, not very democratic. You know, 1 lakh plus salary wala democratic. Like you have to make at least 30,000 per month to make a film on a mobile phone. And when the Ocean's 11 director makes it on an iPhone, he's shooting it from a chopper, and he's also using the array lighting scheme and everything. The only thing is that his phone is an iPhone. So, yeah. So what happened is, I also realized that coming from a socially in a background, a financially insecure space, if I want to survive in cinema, I should communicate, create my audience, and then also smuggle in a little bit of things that I want to explore. So that is how I make films now. I think about the audience. I don't believe in autoship. I don't believe in autoship. I believe in bread and butter. But at the same time, there are certain cinema that I can't make. And I also like the people who watch those films. My mother would be really happy to watch a normal film like Pushpa 2. She would be really happy. And then if I show my film, she's my mother, okay? She's committed to watching my film, but she won't watch my film. So this is weird. And then I understood that this taste also develops from a lot of privileges. Taste develops from your caste, the place you are born, the films you are exposed. And you get exposed to good films if you have money at home, if you have friends at home, if your parents are able to put you in spaces where you can get people who understand cinema more. So there are a lot of people who don't get those privileges at all, and for them, all this entertainer music films with all this sexually inept contents and objectifications and all this violence and one man shooting 200 people, it still works for them and it's okay. I mean, let's not classify, let's not use our privilege and hierarchy of understanding of cinema to judge who will like what films. In my film, I also try to embrace a few more people every time I make one more film, and I also do some narrative exploration. I would really love to make abstract work. I would really love to, and I think once I have enough peace and bread and butter, I would explore that. And once I make that, I will not complain that people don't buy it. Or inside capitalism, an artwork can be sold only if the artwork makes money for someone else. And we are living in that period. So understanding capitalism and understanding cinema and everything, and this is not an absolute answer. Everybody will have a different answer to it. But right now, this is my point of view, and I'm benefited from it. I'm able to make films. There is fundings happening. I'm able to talk dreams to people, and this. So this is what I think. It's not a complete answer. I'm still discovering this. Maybe I'll switch it next year. Maybe I will stop making films next year. Maybe I'll make a mass masala. I don't know. But at this point, I believe that do not think too much. It's capitalism. Okay.
Thank you, Krisha. You have to answer questions.
Like you said, having your first work, having his world premiere in IFFR and now in IFFK is all a very happy thing, but actually I wish I was the person before all of this, because this kind of recognition actually puts a lot of pressure on you, because before this I don't think nobody knows me now, but at least you know me now, right? So that actually kind of like puts a pressure on me. So before, when I was making my diploma film, I didn't care about anything. I was just going out and doing everything, but now I cannot be that same person again. There is some kind of pressure that I'm putting on myself, that this is somewhat recognized, so I have to be, the next movie should be more better. That kind of pressure is there. So I think it's for an aspiring filmmaker to make your first work, you can literally do anything, and that's the first time that you're gonna get that. So have as much as fun as possible when you're doing it, and if you can stay that way for the rest after your first film also, it would be great. I wish I could be that, and I'm trying to be that, to be going to the next film just like how I did my first film. Yeah, so that's what I would say. And and one more thing, just because it was asked before that if any cast or crew was here, my lead actor Faris in this year, he just came now, so I just wanted to stand up for him. I just wanted to show him to him. Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Last and final chance for a question. We are going to wind up the session. Yes, please look. Give him mic.
Hi, my name is Arun. I am a teacher by profession and a movie enthusiast too. My question is actually to enjoy a piece of work. Your task is actually, so let me start as a movie enthusiast. I just need to enjoy a piece of work. For me, it doesn't matter how it is shot using a helicam or telecam or the aspect ratio or the light shades, or nothing is important for me. Even as far as I'm concerned, even a CCTV footage, if it has a story, will be enjoyed by an audience. So that is my question. So is it actually important for someone to be taught in a film institute, to make an interesting movie? So what is your idea? And also another question is about the duration. So when I'm searching for a movie in an OTT platform, I'll be looking at the duration of the movie. When Mithun said, if you have patience enough to watch a 3 hours movie, my movie will be showcased on the 20th. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to watch your movie, but even if I watch a movie, I won't get a chance to speak to you. But do you really think that you need 3 hours, long hours, to convey a story? Because it's a fast-moving world. From movies now we have short movies and reels and shorts. The fast-moving world, you think that the audience have the patience enough to watch such a long, movies?
Question is to Mithun.
Mithun and to all directors, when you make a movie, what is in your mind actually? What should be the minimum duration? As an enthusiast, I have seen directors struggling, some struggling to shrink it, some struggling to stretch it, because they feel that the movie must have a minimum duration. So what's in your mind? What is the actual, as a commercial movie or art movie, what is the minimum duration that you think that you will need to convey a story?
3 hours film, you are struggling to watch it. There are certain people who are not struggling. For certain people, 3-hour films are normal. 4-hour films are normal. There's one film which I saw 6 hours. For certain people, it's normal. But yeah, I think it is based on taste, and it is also based on privilege, and it is lost of. And filmmakers are not struggling with time as such, right? We have anything that you want to make.
Now it is coming to digital age. There is no time constraint. Cost-wise.
I just wanted to add, I have seen Mithun's film, and it's 3 hours long, and it's the most engaging film I have seen in my life. So I don't think time duration can ever affect. It's all subjective.
Anybody want to answer that question?
This film is 3 hours long because I have made it as a weapon to fight against the system. When I look at that system, every one of those communities have got a book, and those books are quite large. So I wanted to make a weapon to fight against those books. I'm not mentioning here what kind of books they are, but they are quite fat. They've got a lot of subplots in it. So I wanted to make a film as a weapon to fight those big books, so I made it bigger. The first cut was actually nearing around 4 hours. Then I cut it short to 3 hours because of some conversations with my creative partner. So the duration of the film is not a staple thing for me. My previous 2 films are really short, lesser than 90 minutes. So this is the purpose why this film is too long. And there is one more thing, there should not be any constraints for an artist to do his thing. Because the audience comes next. The first thing is that whatever he or she is doing, they should enjoy it. So there should not be any constraints. If you are making a film like Pushpa 2 or something for a bigger purpose, for an industry, then you should take inputs or what is the taste of the audience, what they are looking forward to, and you can consider all those elements and include them in your final work. But that's not the case here. None of us are getting benefited from these films. We are living with some other, we have different means of living than making films. So we are making films, every independent artist, not even films, independent music artists, independent painters, everyone's making their work for them to enjoy first. So there should not even the duration, there should not be any restrictions. Let it be anything. That's my opinion on this. The audience comes next.
Okay, appreciate your answer basically. Thank you so much.
Let us hear answer from the other end of the world, Brazil.
Yes.
His opinion.
I'm not absolutely agreeing with this view because I thought like that before, but today I think that we live in the world, not in the ideal world, but in the real world. And in the real world, there are short films and feature films, and not nothing else. So yeah, I think I've done 8 short films, and sometimes I had to cut a little bit some of them for them to be able to be inside the festivals. You know, like one of them, for example, were 23 minutes, and there were absolutely no festivals at the time with more than 15, maybe 20 minutes, and I felt like, well, maybe I am, you know, desecrating my own work, but at the same time, it was good to cut a little bit more, and it was even tighter. And then I kind of tried to understand the beauty of having small films, short films. It's an art in itself. And I think that when you do a 7-hour film, feature film, maybe this is the best way to express yourself. And then maybe this is like what we call a point outside the curve, you know, like something that's special. Maybe this specific film will be amazing, being 7 hour long, but this is not reality. Let's face it. You know, you can't do all your films 7 hours long because you won't have a career. So I think I am more pragmatic about it. I think it's probably between 1 hour 20 to 3 hours the span that I will do all my films. If one day I want to do a 7-hour film, maybe I will do it, but it will be an exception because we live in the real world and people want to see films between 1 hour and a half and 2 hours and a half. And so I believe, to end my saying, I strongly believe as a filmmaker that it's part of my job to adapt to reality and not to try to do whatever I want. So if I have with someone told about doing films with iPhones and everything, if I have to do a film with an iPhone because I don't have a budget to have an Alexa, okay, so that's a restraint. So let's take the most of it. You know, let's try to use this restraint as a path to freedom. You know, so if my restraint by the industry is doing films with more than 1 hour but less than 3 hours, let's use this as a restraint that can potentialize freedom. You know, I believe strongly in that.
Thank you, Petro.
Yesterday
Time is running out.
There was a film which was shown here, which was 3 hours and 45 minutes. It was called Samurai, the Japanese film, and it was houseful, the most crowded in the
That is Kurosawa's film.
Yes, that is. But it's a 3 hours 45 minute film with the most crowded.
Every time film. I have seen that film thrice, about 5 times minimum. So for the information of Pedro, and the title of your film, Malu. We have Malu in Kerala, very familiar and very, very fond with that name, Malu. And we call her Malu Kutti also. Tell your countrymen that I met people with a name Malu. Title of your film.
I don't understand the question, sorry.
Here in Kerala, there is girls with the name Malu.
Oh, okay.
Not Malu, Malu.
Okay.
That is very, very, very. We love Malus. We call her Malu Kutti.
Malu Kutti, okay. Great.
You pass on this information to your colleagues and your countrymen.
Okay, great.
I went to Kerala and met people having Malus. Okay. We are closing the ceremony. For extending this vote of thanks, I would like to invite Balu.
On behalf of 29th International Film Festival of Kerala, Kerala State Chalachitra Academy, Department of Culture, Government of Kerala, I extend my thanks to one and all the film dignitaries on the stage and all the film lovers, delegates and other others. And I also thank Sri Meera Sahib sir for conducting this session. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
We can meet tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye.